What if the life you know isn't what it seems? Dolly Parton, the queen of country music, is adored for her dazzling outfits, powerhouse voice, and magnetic charm. But there's a side of Dolly few truly understand. A story of grit, sacrifice, and resilience that shaped one of the most iconic figures in music history. By the end of this video, you'll see Dolly not just as a star but as someone who overcame unimaginable odds to rise to greatness. Stay tuned because we're saving a surprising twist about her legacy that might completely change how you see her. Dolly Rebecca Parton was born on January 19, 1946, in the quiet hills of Locust Ridge, Tennessee. Life was far from glamorous. She grew up in a tiny cabin with no electricity, no indoor plumbing, and 11 siblings all crammed under one roof. Poverty wasn't just an obstacle, it was the very air she breathed. Yet, even in those hard times, something extraordinary was blooming. A little girl with a big voice and even bigger dreams. Music was her escape. As a child, she would sing her heart out while strumming a homemade guitar. Her songs weren't just melodies, they were reflections of her life, filled with raw emotion and the struggles of her family. By age 13, Dolly's talent was impossible to ignore. She performed at the Grand Ole Opry, where she was introduced by none other than Johnny Cash. Can you imagine? A teenager standing in front of legends, holding her own with just her voice and courage? That moment was more than just a performance, it was the start of something monumental. But the road ahead wasn't paved with glitter. Dolly's journey was filled with rejection, self-doubt, and hard lessons. Yet, even as doors closed, she refused to stop knocking. How did she turn those struggles into stepping stones? And what sacrifices did she make to break out of poverty and into stardom? That's what we'll uncover next, so don't go anywhere. Stick around to the end and we'll reveal a little-known act of kindness from Dolly that's still impacting lives today. It's a story that will make you think differently about what it truly means to succeed. Dolly Parton's rise wasn't a smooth climb. After her Grand Ole Opry debut at 13, she knew she was destined for more. But talent alone wasn't enough. Once she graduated high school, she packed her belongings and left for Nashville, the city of dreams. She had one goal in mind: to make a name for herself in music. The city, however, wasn't so welcoming. For years, she knocked on doors that didn't open. Her songs were often dismissed, and she was told she'd never fit the mold of a star. But Dolly wasn't one to back down. Instead of giving up, she pivoted. She began writing songs, penning stories that resonated with others. Her lyrics were real, heartfelt tales of love, loss, and resilience. Slowly, her name gained recognition, not as a singer just yet, but as a songwriter. Her songs were picked up by other artists, and they became hits. Then came her first big break. Porter Wagoner, a country music legend, invited Dolly to join his television show. This was the moment everything changed. Appearing on his show gave her visibility, and her magnetic stage presence captured hearts nationwide. Week by week, people started recognizing her not just for her voice but for her authenticity. She wasn't trying to be anyone else, she was unapologetically herself, a quality that set her apart in an industry where conformity was often expected. Still, working with Wagoner wasn't without challenges. Being under his shadow meant constant pressure to perform and prove herself. For 7 years, she worked tirelessly to establish her own identity. Every appearance, every song, every smile, it was all carefully crafted to lay the groundwork for her eventual solo career. But here's the catch: leaving Porter Wagoner wasn't just a career decision, it was a deeply personal and emotional turning point. How did she navigate the professional fallout, and what bold move made her an instant solo star? Stick around because the next section holds the answer, and it all starts with 2 songs that changed music history forever. And remember, at the end of this video, we'll share a lesser-known story about Dolly's legacy that has transformed countless lives. You won't want to miss it. Leaving Porter Wagoner's show in 1974 was a leap of faith for Dolly Parton. She was walking away from a partnership that had made her a household name, but it came with a cost. She was often seen as his protege, not a standalone artist. Dolly knew that if she wanted to soar, she had to take control of her own career. What came next was nothing short of groundbreaking. Her decision to part ways with Wagoner inspired one of her most iconic songs, "I Will Always Love You." Written as a heartfelt farewell, it wasn't just a goodbye, it was a declaration of independence. The song became a smash hit, topping the charts and proving that Dolly was more than ready to stand on her own. Then there was Jolene. With its haunting melody and emotional depth, it captivated audiences and cemented Dolly's place in music history. Both songs were released in the same year, 1974, a pivotal moment that transformed her into a solo superstar. These tracks didn't just resonate with fans, they told a universal story of love, pain, and resilience, themes that made her music timeless. As her fame grew, Dolly didn't stay confined to the world of country music. She dared to cross over into the pop scene, a move many artists wouldn't risk. Hits like Here You Come Again and 9 to 5 showcased her versatility and reached entirely new audiences. Dolly wasn't just a country singer anymore, she was a global sensation. But fame came with challenges. Balancing two worlds, country and pop, required bold decisions and relentless effort. There were critics who doubted her, fans who feared she might lose her roots, and endless pressure to deliver hit after hit. Through it all, Dolly remained true to herself, proving that authenticity was her greatest strength. Still, this meteoric rise wasn't just about her voice or her music. What was it about Dolly that made people from all walks of life gravitate to her? And how did she manage to turn personal struggles into universally relatable art? In the next section, we'll explore the impact she's had not just as a musician, but as a force of kindness and inspiration. And don't forget, at the end of this video, there's a surprising story about one of Dolly's most selfless acts that's still changing lives today. It's something even her biggest fans might not know. Stay with us. Dolly Parton's influence extends far beyond the stage or the recording studio. While her music brought her fame, it's her heart that has made her a legend. In a world where success often isolates, Dolly stayed grounded, using her platform to uplift others. And what she's done is nothing short of extraordinary. Take her Imagination Library, for example. It started as a simple idea: give free books to children in her home county of Sevier, Tennessee. But Dolly didn't stop there. She expanded the program to cover the entire United States and beyond, distributing over 200 million books worldwide. For Dolly, it wasn't just about literacy, it was about giving every child the chance to dream, just like she did, as a little girl in the hills of Tennessee. Then came her $1 million donation toward COVID-19 vaccine research. At a time when the world was struggling, Dolly's generosity made headlines. But she didn't do it for recognition. In her words, she just wanted to do her part. This act of kindness is just one example of how she's consistently chosen to give back, even when she didn't have to. But philanthropy isn't the only way Dolly has left her mark. She's become a cultural icon, representing resilience, individuality, and self-belief. Her unapologetic embrace of her roots, paired with her ability to connect with people from all walks of life, has made her a symbol of perseverance. She's inspired countless fans and artists alike to chase their dreams, no matter the odds. Even in her glittering outfits and big wigs, Dolly has always been real. Her authenticity cuts through the glamour, reminding us that no matter how far you go, it's who you are at your core that truly matters. But here's the real question: what drives someone like Dolly to give so much while asking so little in return? And what legacy is she quietly building that most of us rarely hear about? In the final section, we'll reveal a little-known story of how Dolly's generosity has changed lives in ways that even she might not fully realize. Stick with us, because the ending might just leave you inspired to make a difference in your own way. It's a story you'll be glad you stayed for. Dolly Parton's legacy isn't just about her music or awards. It's about the lives she's touched, the barriers she's broken, and the hope she's given to millions. She's not just a country music icon, she's a trailblazer who showed the world what it means to stay true to yourself while lifting others along the way. One story that perfectly sums up her impact involves her hometown. Dolly quietly funded scholarships for local students, ensuring that kids from her own humble beginnings had opportunities she never did. She didn't announce it with fanfare or press releases, she simply did it, because she believed in giving back to the place that shaped her. And then there's her work with the Imagination Library, which continues to transform lives around the globe. For children receiving their first book, it's more than just a gift, it's a spark of possibility. Dolly understands the power of imagination because it's what carried her through the hardest times in her life. Her influence isn't just measured in records sold or awards won, it's seen in the countless people who have been inspired to believe in themselves because of her example. From artists who look up to her to fans who feel seen in her songs, Dolly Parton's story is one of endless inspiration. Now, here's the reward I promised you at the beginning of this video. Take a moment to think about what Dolly's life represents: resilience, kindness, and the courage to be yourself. What if you took just one lesson from her story and applied it to your own life? Whether it's helping someone in need, embracing your unique gifts, or chasing a dream you've put off for too long, Dolly's journey proves that the smallest steps can lead to incredible change. So here's your call to action. Take a moment to reflect. What's your version of a legacy? Share this video with someone who could use a little inspiration. Let's spread the message that kindness, perseverance, and authenticity are more powerful than we often realize. Because just like Dolly, we all have the power to create something bigger than ourselves. And if this story resonated with you, stay curious. There's always more to learn about the people who shape our world.